June 17, 1775. Just weeks after the first shots of the Revolution were fired at Lexington and Concord, the American colonies braced themselves for the next storm. The British, determined to crush the rebellion quickly, marched with drums beating and banners high, toward the hills overlooking Boston Harbor. On Breed's Hill, which history would remember as the Battle of Bunker Hill, colonial militiamen dug in with shovels and bare hands through the night. They were farmers, blacksmiths, shopkeepers, men who had never known real war. Among them was Peter Salem, a man who had once lived in chains, but who now carried a musket with a new purpose, to fight for freedom not just for the colonies, but for himself. As the sun rose, the harbor glittered with British ships. Row after row of scarlet-coated soldiers advanced, their polished bayonets flashing in the morning light. The ground trembled with the sound of marching boots. The colonists, outnumbered and running low on gunpowder, gripped their weapons in silence. Orders rang out, "Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes." The first wave of British soldiers climbed the hill. Cannon fire roared from the harbor. Smoke curled into the sky. The colonists waited, hearts pounding, fingers tight on the trigger. Then, a single command broke the silence. Muskets erupted like thunder. Men fell. The British line staggered back, shocked at the ferocity of farmers and freedmen who refused to yield. But the British regrouped. A second wave came, even stronger, pressing toward the colonial barricades. The ground was slick with sweat, blood, and dirt. Powder horns emptied. Ammunition ran short. The colonists fought on with desperation. And in the midst of it all stood Peter Salem, calm, steady, fearless. Then, at the height of the battle, a figure appeared through the smoke, Major John Pitcairn, a British officer of renown. His voice rang out across the chaos as he urged his men forward. "Now is the moment! Take the hill!" His presence electrified the redcoats. The colonists felt their courage falter. Some whispered that the end had come. But not Peter Salem. With measured breath, he raised his musket. He steadied his aim through the haze of smoke and fire. And with a single shot, history changed. Pitcairn fell where he stood. The British line wavered, stunned. For a heartbeat, silence fell across the battlefield. Then the colonists cheered, a cry that echoed like thunder across the hill. Though the British would eventually take the ground, they suffered heavy losses, far more than they had imagined. And the world saw what the colonists were capable of. For Peter Salem, a man once bound in slavery, that day was proof: courage knows no chains. His shot had turned the tide of the battle, and his name would forever be etched among the hidden heroes of America's fight for freedom. Peter Salem's musket may have spoken only once on that hill, but its echo carried across the Revolution, reminding all who heard it that liberty belongs to every man willing to fight for it.